Welcome to my third video for Chapter 4. I know I didn't need to do a third video, but I decided to go ahead and record this one because we are going to create disk partitions, and this absolutely terrifies me. And so I decided to go ahead and do it on a video to show others that it is not as scary as you might think it is. So in this activity, we'll perform the typical steps required to create new disk partitions using free space on the computer's startup hard disk. So we begin with the Start orb, and you will right-click on Computer and click on Manage. We want to open up the Disk Management. It will be underneath the Storage in the left pane. In the lower view of the Disk Management console, identify disk space on disk 0 as unallocated. And as you can see, we have 17.92 gigabytes of unallocated space. We know it's unallocated not only by the label, but also by the coloring, as we did that in 4.2. Calculate 1/4 of that amount. If the amount is greater than 500 megabytes, then use 500 megabytes for partition sizes later in this activity. Well, there's plenty more room, so we're going to use 500 megabytes. In the lower view of the Disk Management console, click on the unallocated space to select it. So we're going to click, and you can see that it looks different in the graphical view. It changes its appearance to indicate that it has been selected. Right-click on the unallocated space, and note the pop-up menu has a simple new volume option. Do not select it. This is not where we're going to go in. All right. With that selected, our unallocated drive space selected, we're going to go up to the top at Action and All Tasks, and this is where we want to click on New Simple Volume. So there it is from the pop-up menu. This starts the new Simple Volume wizard. So here it's a little welcome. We're going to continue. We're going to click Next. On the screen volume size, or the volume size screen, change the volume size to use the amount that we determined in step 6, which we're going to go ahead with the 500 megabytes. As you see, simple volume size in megabytes, 500, and we're going to click Next. On the Assign Drive Letter screen, leave the default settings and note the drive letter that will be assigned to the new partition. Then click Next. We can see here that E is going to be assigned, so we want to make a note of that, and we want to click Next. On the Format Partition screen, change the default volume label right here that says New Volume to Data Vol 1. So I'm going to clear that, and we're going to name this Data Vol 1, and then click Next. Review the summary screen and click Finish. As you can see, we've selected the following settings. We have 500 megabytes. The drive is E. It's been formatted NTFS. The label volume is Data Vol 1. It's quick format, and compression no. Hit Finish. Note that disk 0 is a basic disk. The wizard refers to volumes but has created partitions because the disk is a basic disk, not a dynamic disk. The partitions created by the new volume wizard up to this point are primary partitions. Now this is where I got stuck the last time I did this. You should now have 3 primary partitions on disk 0. A 100 megabyte system partition, the C partition, and the Data Vol 1. I may have missed something previously. My system part is inside of C, so I only have the 2. You may have something different. So anyway, we now have the C volume, we have the Data 1, and we do have unallocated space. We want to repeat steps 9 to 15 on the remaining unallocated space and create a new volume using the amount you determined in step 6. So we're going to go back to step 9, which is to highlight the unallocated, go up to Action, point to All Tasks, New Simple Volume. We start the wizard again. Again, we only want to do 500 megabytes. Hit Next. This one is going to be F, so I want to make a note of that. Hit Next. We're going to change the volume label to Data Vol 2. Hit Next. And we're fine with that. We have all the same information. And there we're formatting. And there we have a Data Vol 2. Okay? Now, because I am missing the 100 megabyte system primary, we're going to go ahead and create another one. So this is just a little different from what, we don't want to go there, remember, but we want to have that highlighted. It's going to be a little different from my directions because you should have that 100 megabyte system. If you don't, then go ahead and add a couple more so we can see how this works. This one's going to be G. And this one's going to be Data Vault 3. Whoop. Hit Next and Finish. Okay, so this creates what we wanted to see here. And I'm not sure. Because our Data Vol 3 is our 4th partition on the basic disk. The new partition just created is not a primary partition. We can compare the graphical color coding of the partitions to the legend at the bottom of the disk management console. Disk management has used all of the remaining disk space to create an extended partition, and the new volume is created as a logical drive within the extended partition. This ensures that there is no unusable disk space caused by the 4 partition limit on disks. So here we have the first, the second, the third. The 4th one becomes an extended, as you can see here. Volume 3 becomes the logical drive, and then the rest of the free space you can see is here with the green. All right? Now, in the lower view of the disk management console, click on Data Vol 1 to select it. And note that this is a primary partition. So you see it says primary partition. Right-click on that space and select Mark Partition as Active. So here we go, is Mark Partition as Active. Note the warning that marking a primary partition active without a valid operating system installed on it could leave the computer unable to start. Select No to exit the prompt and avoid making the change. Important. If you select Yes, your computer will be unable to restart. So we definitely want to click No. So now we have created these volumes within our disk management console, and we still have free space that as we add more partitions there, then we would be using up the space within. They would become logical partitions within the extended partition. And there you go. Close the computer management window and all other windows. And you can see that this is not too scary. Oh, here's some formatting information, but you can just go ahead and get out of all of these things and close all these windows. So, not too scary. Thank you.